Hi everyone, my name is Ahmad Shabbar, and we're here with Nurul Huda and Somayeh Bardai. and Today we'll be talking about Earth Day, with regards to Earth Day, a little bit about waste, upcycling, and zero waste lifestyles. A quick introduction. Nurul Huda is a climate communicator, and she runs a phenomenal Instagram page where she talks about zero waste lifestyles and basically climate emergencies and how you can deal with all of those anxieties or lifestyle changes in your behavior. Somayeh is a humanist, and she's also working at RLCC. She's the lead at RLCC, and she works with upcycling of various items over there. And of course, I'll let Somayeh, both of them speak a little bit more in detail about what they actually do. And I'm a waste manager and an environmental activist. I run an organization called Garbage Can Sustainable Waste Management, where we enable people to recycle or manage their waste in an environmentally friendly manner. So, Noor, why don't you go first and just quickly introduce myself, yourself, because I don't think I did justice to your work.
No, I think it was really good. My name is Nurul Huda, and as Ahmed just said, I am a climate communicator. Why I call myself a climate communicator is because मेरे पास कोई degree नहीं है. I'm not a climate scientist. मैंने इसके बारे में कुछ पढ़ा नहीं है. My profession is I work as I'm a TV producer and director, so that's what I do. But this was something एक बार पढ़ना शुरू किया, एक बार मालूम करना शुरू किया कि हम लोग environment के साथ क्या कर रहे हैं और climate change और climate disaster क्या है. And उसके बाद literally नींदें उड़ गई और कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रहा था कि how to start, what to do, how to bring a change. So something that I could do that was in my control was my life. So I started bringing changes in my own life, whatever I think is good for the environment. I'm a vegetarian for environment. I compost. I am on a shop stop, so I don't buy new clothes, shoes, bags, nothing. I am living a low waste life, meaning I don't use anything that you have to throw away, be it plastic, paper, kapra, anything that you have to throw away. So I don't, a lot of people ask questions about how can you live without plastic, how can you survive without plastic. But so that's what my Instagram is about, living without all this and being kind to the planet. So I just do it myself, and I show people that living in Karachi, living in Pakistan, we can have this kind of a lifestyle. So that's what I do.
Perfect. Thank you. Somayeh, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit as well, and the work that you do at RLCC and otherwise as well, of course.
Okay, thanks, Ahmad. All right, my name is Somayeh Bardai, and I help manage and spearhead the livelihood department at RLCC, which stands for Raana Liaquat Craftsmen's Colony. It's based in Shah Faisal town, and we support over 350 women home-based artisans. Now, part of our initiative, a major chunk of our initiative is the fact that we create upcycled products from textile waste and from paper waste. And at the same time, we spread awareness into the community about environmental problems caused by, waste that is not managed correctly. And the collaboration that we have with Garbage Can as well at RLCC, which is also a great thing. But yeah, pretty much that's it.
Great. So, I'll start off by thanking T2F for inviting all of us and having this conversation on how to live environment in an environmentally friendly manner and how to manage our waste properly. So very quickly about Garbage Can, I call it the Garbage Can ARC, where A stands for awareness, R stands for recycling management, and C stands for comprehensive waste management. And of course, this is basically part of the awareness bit as well, where I come in, or people like Noor and Somayeh come in and talk about how our individual audiences, and of course how T2F's audience can bring about that bit of change in their lives. So we're gonna each of us are gonna try and give you bite-sized things to work with, of course, and the main focus isn't gonna be us lecturing the audiences like why everything's going to hell, and how plastic waste is dangerous, and like how, because almost everybody knows like all of those things at this point in time, but of course it's always better to repeat that from time to time. मगर हम लोग जो है बाइट साइज चीजें देने की कोशिश करेंगे. तो okay, so who should start, let's see. So
why don't you start?
well, I mean, see, recycling always goes is always the very last thing. Okay, so that's what we'll start with. So as Tawfiq Pasha, like of course, Tawfiq Pasha has influenced Noor and Somayeh and I as well. Like he's been a mentor to all of us.
He's a mentor, yes.
Exactly. So as he says that like they're not just 3 hours, there's multiple hours. So he starts with reflecting, like thinking about the waste, like thinking about whether you need the item that you're shopping for. If you don't, then of course you like say no to it. The second one then of course is you refuse that item, because otherwise that will go to waste. And then like automatically by refusing that item you reduce the waste. So again, like for example, if you're going to the shop to buy like a plastic like a bottle of water. So like of course, like first of all you should carry your own metal bottle, but if there's an emergency and you have to buy a plastic bottle, so like the guy if the guy is giving it to you in a plastic bag, you can refuse that plastic bag. You don't need it. You're going to carry that plastic bottle in one hand, you're going to carry the plastic bag in one hand as well. You can easily think about it and say no to it. Then comes reusing items, which is basically upcycling as well. Or say for example, if there's a plastic bottle, you cut it in half and you make pots out of it, or you make eco bricks out of it, and so on. And then like towards the very end, at the end comes recycling. And then like for organic waste, it's basically letting things rot or compost. So let's go in that order as well. What was it? Reflect, refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So yeah,
repair.
Like repair as well, but reuse and repair and everything, So Noor basically comes first, because like reflecting and refusing and reducing, that's all about zero waste. So Noor, maybe if you could take about 5 to 10 minutes and describe how you've done it in your lifestyle, and how others like who are probably laymen, like who don't understand everything as well, could do it.
Okay, sorry, one question. Do you want me to go in Urdu, English?
I think either or it should be okay.
Both. Okay. So I think one of the most important things is to understand that once we are buying something or we're doing something, uska before and after ka impact kya hoga. A lot of times we think about plastic and we think about isse waste produce hoga, waste management ka hoga, but we don't think about कि वो प्लास्टिक का प्रोडक्ट जो बना है उसको बनने में कितनी ज़्यादा ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस बन चुकी हैं ऑलरेडी वो एनवायरनमेंट में है. So we need to understand about the whole life cycle of any product that we buy. Again, when it comes to a low waste life, unfortunately आप आज के ज़माने में zero waste life नहीं जी सकते. What you can aim for the biggest is to live a low waste life. Again, जैसा Ahmad ने बोला था कि how can everybody do it? It's very simple. If you have ever seen me before, I'm sure you've seen me with my stainless steel ka dabba, my coffee flask. Itna simple, literally itna simple hai that you need to carry a box with you, a container that can carry liquid with you. So you don't go for single-use plastic items. और ये सब कुछ, I think a lot of environmental issues are there because जो उसका opposite, that's more convenient for us. Because going shopping is convenient for us. So we need to understand that what maybe is convenient for right now is it's a huge problem for later. So if we understand that and we understand where this is going, because वो वाला मसला है ना हम लोगों के साथ सबके साथ out of sight out of mind, हम लोगों ने think किया कहाँ गया क्या हुआ कुछ नहीं पता. So even एक छोटा सा change लाने के लिए भी it's very important कि आपको उसका life cycle समझ आए, आपको उसका impact समझ आए कितना बड़ा है. So again, if you're just starting or if you want to do something, anything at all, you can simply start by when you go out, if you go out, अभी तो कोविड की जो भी सिचुएशन है, if you go out, just say no to a plastic bag. Just tell the server that's serving you कि नहीं, मुझे आप जो ड्रिंक देंगे साथ में प्लास्टिक की स्ट्रॉ मत दीजिएगा. Let's start there. Let's start with just ask yourself, standing in a shop, do I need to buy these clothes? हम लोग प्लास्टिक की बात करते हैं, अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो हम लोग इग्नोर कर देते हैं वो ये कि हमारे कपड़े सारे पॉलिएस्टर से बने हुए हैं, हमारे कपड़े प्लास्टिक से बने हैं, और हर बार जब हम लोग अपने कपड़े धोते हैं तो हजारों लाखों की तादाद में माइक्रोप्लास्टिक्स पानी में जाते हैं. एंड दैट्स समथिंग दैट वी डोंट इवन थिंक अबाउट. Doing something as small as washing your clothes is bad for the environment, not just because of the water waste, but because of the microplastics that we're leaving in the freshwater way. So just be mindful of those things. Just think about, honestly, we'll be so much more sustainable अगर हम आज से 20 साल पहले की लाइफस्टाइल में चले जाएंगे. मतलब हम सबकी अम्माएं, खालाएं, नानियां, they were very stylish. They were actually very stylish. They looked very nice. आप कोई पुरानी तस्वीरें निकाल के देखें. But they didn't go shopping every month. पहले जमाने में जिस तरह लोग कपड़े खरीदते थे, जिस तरह उनका ख्याल रखते थे, जिस तरह उनको रीयूज करते थे, it's as simple as that. हम लोगों को सिर्फ थोड़ा पहले जमाने में जाने की जरूरत है एंड अंडरस्टैंड करने की जरूरत है कि ये सब कुछ एक फेक एनवायरनमेंट जो क्रिएट की हुई है, ये ज्यादा अरसे तक चल ही नहीं सकती. अगर ऐसा होता ना कि हम लोग ये सब कुछ इस तरह इस्तेमाल करते रहे चीजें और ये हम लोग अगले 200-300 साल तक इस तरह रह लें, तो शायद इतना बड़ा इम्पैक्ट हमारी जिंदगियों पे नहीं हो सकते, बिकॉज हम होंगे ही नहीं इतने टाइम में. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली लाइफस्टाइल अगले 10-20 साल के लिए भी सस्टेनेबल नहीं है. सो वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये सब कुछ फेक है, ये खत्म तो होना है, ये चेंज तो होना है. अब हम पे डिपेंड करता है कि हम उस चेंज का पार्ट बने, उसको बेहतर करने की कोशिश करें, लोगों को समझाएं कि क्या मसला है और अपनी जिंदगी में चेंज लाकर. बिकॉज ऐसे बैठकर बोलना कि यार प्लास्टिक यूज करना छोड़ दो, ये करना छोड़ दो, वो करना छोड़ दो, इज इजी. लेकिन जब एक बार आप प्रैक्टिकली करते हैं, so are you saying something?
हाँ नहीं, like I just wanted to ask you, like you said, कि ये बोलना आसान है कि प्लास्टिक छोड़ दो क्योंकि everything is surrounded, like by plastic. Everything is made out of plastic. So like, one of the things exactly. So one of the things that you mentioned was कि clothes नहीं वो करें और दूसरा plastic की थैली नहीं वो करें. So like how about other items like the metal and paper and everything? Are there alternates to that? Yeah, like can you reduce that waste as well? Like
honestly, I think anything that you're using single use, any material in the world that you're using for very less amount of time cannot be sustainable. अगर मेरे पास अब आपको सस्टेनेबल ब्रांड से कपड़े खरीदने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप उधर से जाके कपड़े खरीद सकते हैं जहां से हर कोई ले रहा है, लेकिन उनको सस्टेनेबल बनाना मेरे ख्याल में, मेरा पर्सनल ख्याल है, आपके हाथ में होता है. So I got this shirt from wherever we all buy clothes, but I have this shirt since 2.5-3 years and I wear it really often. So that's how I think things become sustainable. सिर्फ एक स्टेनलेस स्टील का डब्बा खरीद लेना सस्टेनेबल नहीं बना देगा. उसको रोजाना इस्तेमाल करना, ये मेरी बॉडी का एक एक्सटेंशन है, उसको अपने साथ लेकर जाना हर जगह, उसको इस्तेमाल करना, that's what make things sustainable. That's what I personally think. So अगर आप लोगों को प्लास्टिक कट डाउन करना है अपनी जिंदगी से, प्रैक्टिकल उसके अंदर, it's as simple as going to a bamboo toothbrush. It's as simple as going to maswak. I've been using maswak since almost 3 years now. I go to my dentist regularly. कोई मसला नहीं है. Even religious point of view से हम लोगों की तो इसकी पूरी हिस्ट्री है, and it's actually very good. तो हम लोग जो हर 3 महीने में 4 महीने में हम लोग को बताया जाता है कि टूथब्रश चेंज करना है. I mean, just look at the impact of all that on the environment. मसवाक आपकी खत्म हो जाती है, आप कंपोस्ट में डाल देते हैं, जो चीज जमीन से आई है वो जमीन में जा रही है, कोई उसका एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट इतना बुरा नहीं है. उसके अलावा अब तो माशाल्लाह पाकिस्तान में इतने सारे ब्रांड्स आ गए हैं जिनमें कि मेकअप दैट कम्स इन अ स्टेनलेस स्टील टिन में आता है. There are people, bamboo toothbrushes are very common. There is tooth powder that's very common. So अब ये पाकिस्तान में सब चीजें आना शुरू हो गई हैं. But I understand.
We don't have an excuse anymore. You're right.
Exactly.
We don't have an excuse. We have everything available to us to become sustainable, and we're very blessed to be living in a place where these things are provided, and there are people who are thinking along the same lines.
Yes.
अच्छा, इसमें like what I'm hearing is that you need to use alternates, right? अब जैसे बहुत ज़्यादा बहस हुई थी
and reuse them again and again.
Exactly. जब प्लास्टिक की थैलियां बैन करने पे हुआ था तो बहुत ज़्यादा ये बहस हुई थी कि जी alternates नहीं है. But from what I'm hearing, what you all are saying, that there are alternates available now in Pakistan. But are they available to the masses? Do you think कि जो कहते हैं ये masses के लिए भी फर्क पड़ सकता है, या like should we at least start with, like alhamdulillah, all of us are very privileged and everything. So should we start over there? Yeah, like how do you
I honestly think कि masses बहुत आराम से ये change लेकर आ सकते हैं. ये जो प्रोडक्ट्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं, ये आप एक दफा लेंगे और आपको उनका बस ख्याल रखना है, और उसके बाद वो बहुत लंबा आप यूज कर सकते हो. So for example, these bags that I carry with me all the time, they are 300 a pack, जो कि मैं पिछले 1 साल से यूज कर रही हूँ. That I think is affordable कि आप एक बार उसको ले लो 300 रुपए की चीज और आप उसको रीयूज करते रहो. मैं 1 साल से तो हर 2 से 3 दिन बाद कर रही हूँ. उसके अलावा जो मासेस की हम बात कर रहे थे, परचून की जो दुकानें होती हैं हम लोगों क्या, हम लोग इतने बर्गर है ना, मतलब मैं ढूंढ रही थी, हमारे पास बल्क स्टोर्स नहीं है, हमारे पास बल्क स्टोर्स नहीं है, सारा हम लोग यूट्यूब पे देख रहे होते, सीख रहे होते, एंड आई वाज लाइक यार हमारे पास बल्क स्टोर्स नहीं है. एंड देन वन डे क्लिक, हमारे पास ही तो बल्क स्टोर्स है, मतलब जो हमारे पास बल्क स्टोर्स है वो किसी के पास नहीं है. तो यू गो टू परचून की दुकान, आपको वहाँ सस्ती चीजें मिलेंगी. जो चावल आपको नॉर्मल दुकान में मिल रहे होते हैं वो वही वाले चावल होते हैं, उनको प्लास्टिक में पैक करके. असल में हम लोगों का माइंडसेट ये हो गया है कि कोई भी चीज जब प्लास्टिक पैकेजिंग में आ रही है ना तो क्वालिटी बेहतर है, और उस माइंडसेट को चेंज करने की जरूरत है.
और साफ सुथरा है.
या एग्जैक्टली. तो वही चीज वो बोरी में उनके पास रखी हुई होती है, दाल, चावल, बीन्स, मसाले, क्ले, जो वो मुल्तानी मिट्टी होती है, मतलब जो चीज आप ऑलमोस्ट सोच सकते हैं वो आपको परचून की दुकान पे मिल जाएगी और खुली मिल जाएगी. आप वहां पर बस जाएं, आपने उनको अपनी रीयूजेबल बोतलें और जो भी आपके पास कपड़े के बैग्स चीजें हैं वो आपने उनको देनी है. पहली दफा में वो लोग थोड़ी शक्ल बनाते हैं कि ये क्या है, और जब आप एक बार उनसे बात करना शुरू करो ना, उनको एक्सप्लेन करो. जैसे शुरू में 1-2 लोग थोड़े से फ्रेंड हो गए थे कि मुझे लग रहा है कि उनकी जो पैकेजिंग है वो साफ नहीं है, तो उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं हमारी देखिए बिल्कुल साफ पैकेजिंग है और आप ऐसा ना समझें. तो जब बैठकर आप उनको 1-2 मिनट लगा लें, एक्सप्लेन कर दें कि मैं सिर्फ इसीलिए अपने इसमें ले रही हूँ बिकॉज प्लास्टिक से ये नुकसान है, और आप यकीन करेंगे हम लोग के लोग इतने अच्छे हैं कि वो आगे से खुद आपको बताना शुरू कर देंगे कि हाँ 20 साल पहले तो सब लोग जो है वो फ्रूट टोकरी में लेते थे, अब की तरह. एंड देन इट बिकम्स अ नॉर्मल थिंग आफ्टर 2 to 3 times. So I think it's not the masses, it's the bigger brands now that are, I'm sorry, but a lot of brands I see in Pakistan now that are doing greenwashing.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to use that word.
Yeah, especially जो ये fresh produce और ये सब कुछ दे रहे होते हैं, they talk about organic and it's fresh and it's this and it's that, और वहाँ पे आप जाओ तो आपको प्लास्टिक देके suffocation हो जाएगी. और उन सबको मैंने ऑलमोस्ट मैसेजेस किए हुए. अब मेरा बहुत मसला है तो मैं इंस्टाग्राम पर हर एक को कस्टमर फीडबैक दे रही होती हूँ कि प्लीज अगर आप कुछ कर सके इसके बारे में. और वो फ्रूट जो वो प्लास्टिक की पूरी पैकेजिंग के अंदर करके वो दे रहे होते हैं, उनका अपना फ्रूट ज्यादा बेहतर रहेगा कि अगर उसे खुले रखें. इट जस्ट सफोकेट्स देयर. सो it's the burger around that needs to change, I think.
Like I actually kind of like I agree. Okay, in my work as well that I've seen, that there are 2 demographics. One that cares about the environment, like they're more privileged and everything, but they don't know as much about say recycling or alternates. And then there's those who who don't know where they're going to get their next meal from. For example, who are not as educated, but and resources are quite tight for them. So they're a lot more savvy as far as like where like they could save and where they can find cheaper alternates and everything else is concerned. अच्छा, मगर इसमें एक वो आपकी जो जैसे आपने लाइफस्टाइल की बात की, उसमें एक आर्गुमेंट ये बहुत ज्यादा आता है कि switching to like an environmentally friendly lifestyle is a bit expensive. जो कि I actually don't like agree with that, क्योंकि हम लोग ये as you said कि 10-15-20 साल पहले हमारे जो कहते हैं नाना नानी दादा दादी वगैरह भी उसमें रहते थे, but they say that it's like it's a lot more expensive, and sticking to plastics or plastic packaging and everything is just
cheaper,
easier and cheaper.
Yeah.
So
like give me 1 second for that answer. Give me 1 second.
Chale.
So which is so sad.
So this
that plastic is cheaper.
Okay, this burnie is for 110 rupees. अगर आपके पास वो स्टेनलेस स्टील का डब्बा नहीं है, मैंने शुरू के 1 साल ये यूज की, यही वाली यूज किया है. अगर आपके पास स्टेनलेस स्टील का डब्बा नहीं है, अगर आपके पास कोई फैंसी सा कॉफी कास्ट नहीं है, आपको उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. दिस is so helpful. इसमें आपका एक्स्ट्रा खाना बचा हुआ हो आप इसमें डलवा लें, बजाय कि वो अपनी पैकेजिंग में दे। अगर आप रेस्टोरेंट पे कहीं जाते हैं, आपको कॉफी पीनी है, आप इसमें पी सकते हैं, गर्म लगेगी, प्रॉपर सिप कर लें। आप जूस लेना चाहें, आप वो ले सकते हैं इसके अंदर। ये सिर्फ एक इतनी छोटी सी चीज कैरी करने से आप अपना एटलीस्ट 30% प्लास्टिक वेस्ट जो है वो खत्म कर सकते हैं, जो हम लोग बाहर जाकर बना रहे होते हैं। सो मुझे लगता है एक्सपेंसिव नहीं है, बिकॉज हम लोगों के यहाँ अगेन जो हम लोगों के यहाँ ऑल्टरनेट्स आ गए हैं। अब वो आपको अगर पूरी मैं एक जीरो वेस्ट किट की बात करूं, जो कि मैं अपने साथ कैरी करती हूँ फॉर एग्जांपल, वो आपको आराम से 2,500 रुपए में मिल जाएगी। 2,500 मुझे पता है कि बहुत सारे पैसे हैं, लेकिन 2,500 जो कि आप अगले 2 से 3 साल इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो, रोजाना इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो। तो अगर आप उसको उन दिनों में डिवाइड करें तो वो ज्यादा पैसे नहीं है, लेकिन 2,500 एक बार फर्स्ट शुरू में आपको लगेगा कि आप वो इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हो, but उसके बाद you can keep on reusing that for a very long time. I would agree to the part कि जो हम लोगों के zero waste products as in soaps, handmade soaps आ गए, इस तरह की जो चीजें आ गई हैं, they are actually much more expensive than the one that you get in the market, and that's true. तो उसके बारे में कोई बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज जो है वो है। उसका ऑल्टरनेट भी आपको खुला साबुन मिलता है, उसका ऑल्टरनेट आपको आप बेसन से मुंह धो सकते हो, उसके ऑल्टरनेट्स हैं जो आप यूज कर सकते हो, जो कि उतनी महंगी नहीं है और आपका काम भी हो जाएगा, और आपको वो वाले फैंसी हैंडमेड सोप जो मिल रहे हैं जो कि 500 रुपए के 600 रुपए के मिल रहे हैं, ऑनेस्टली नोबडी कैन अफोर्ड दैट कि आप एक हफ्ते के लिए 600 रुपए का एक साबुन खरीदो। मतलब प्रैक्टिकली इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल इफ यू कीप ऑन डूइंग इट। सो देयर आर अदर ऑल्टरनेट्स जो कि अगेन हम लोगों से पहली जनरेशन भी यूज करती आ रही है, एंड दे एक्चुअली मच मोर गुड फॉर यू एंड इट्स गुड फॉर द एनवायरनमेंट एज वेल।
So, I just want you to quickly shed some light on disposable culture, क्योंकि ये भी बहुत ज़्यादा वो है कि you know you're very quickly you just pick something up, वो ये प्लास्टिक की थैली का वो ये कि and you dispose of it and everything, and you don't really care about that anymore. So quickly, if you could shed some light on disposable culture, and then we'll move on to Somayeh and talk about what upcycling and everything entails.
Okay, so disposable culture के बारे में बात करते हुए I don't know what else to say, because हर चीज available है जिससे आप disposable चीजें जो है वो avoid कर सकते हैं। सिर्फ ये एक decision है जो कि आपको खुद लेना है। अगर आप disposable चीजें avoid कर रहे हैं इस वक्त, if you're trying to live a low waste life, that's amazing, but I think उसके साथ साथ एक responsibility और है हम उन लोगों के ऊपर जो कि already avoid कर रहे हैं, to talk about this and tell everyone how important this is. It's as simple as कि आप बाहर जाएंगे, आपको पता है कि आपको प्यास लगेगी, अपने साथ पानी की बोतल लेकर जाएं। इसमें कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है, इसमें कोई भी ऐसी नई चीज नहीं है जो कि मैं किसी को बता सकती हूँ, बिकॉज ये सब हम लोगों को सबको पता है। बात सिर्फ ये कि जैसे हम लोग नहीं कर होते यार, डाइटिंग करनी है, वेट लूज करना है, क्या करें, सबको पता है कैसे वेट लूज करना है। It's as simple as that. If we just start doing something तो फर्क पड़ेगा, सिर्फ बैठ की बात करने से कुछ भी नहीं होगा। So if you want to stop using disposable plastic and single-use plastic, all you have to do is start doing it. And when you're doing it, make sure to talk about it with your friends. Why are you doing it? So ताकि अल्लाह फिर उनमें भी आहिस्ता-आहिस्ता करके impact आएगा।
Great. Yeah, I completely agree that you just have to get it done. Otherwise, it's not gonna get done, of course.
Can I just add something?
So moving on to yeah,
sorry, Ahmad, can I add something to this disposable culture problem? One of the major issues, and especially in COVID, right? You're staying at home, so you end up ordering in a lot of food. I mean, this has to be on all of these sites that are selling food or connecting us to vendors. There has to be some form of awareness on that platform. For example, Food Panda. Ab asme there is a section that says, okay, you have any additional comments, or if there's anything you want altered in your. Why isn't there a button that says I don't want, or I wanted a plastic spoon? Baslan, okay. If I'm outside, I don't have cutlery, I'm not at home, then I can request for a or have an option of a bamboo spoon. Why does it have to be a plastic? If the customer is paying extra for that bamboo spoon, option हो ना, option हो कि मुझे straw bamboo straw भेज दे। आप घर में बैठे हैं, आप थैली के अंदर आपके 10 चम्मच इजाफे वो भेज देते हैं, क्या करोगे आप उसका?
और अगर आप एक्स्ट्रा नोट में लिखेंगी भी ये बात, क्योंकि बिकॉज मैं ये तकरीबन कोई काउंटलेस टाइम्स कर चुकी हूँ, they won't listen to it. They just won't listen to it.
अच्छा उसमें
बिकॉज टिश्यू पेपर्स का भी बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट है एनवायरमेंट पे, तो आई ऑलवेज टेल देम कि आप टिश्यू पेपर मत भेजें प्लीज, जरा कचरे मतलब just please, I don't need टिश्यू पेपर, I don't need anything, they will still send it. And if you tell the right to take it back, वो आपके मुंह पे बोल देगा कि मैं फेंक दूंगा, आपको रखना आप रख लिए वरना मैं फेंक दूंगा.
टिश्यू पेपर, एक्स्ट्रा केचप, दिस सॉस, दैट, उसको आप कॉन्डिमेंट्स में एडिशनली क्यों नहीं मांग सकते अगर रियली आपके घर पे नहीं है, यू नो, ऑप्शन ही नहीं देते आपको कि आप सस्टेनेबल हो सके इस एरिया में.
So like let's move on. उसमें वो ये कि like there's also arguments about, you know, digital space and everything as well, clutter within the digital space and so on and so forth. So तो खैर वो बहुत लंबी आगे तक बात चली है, and the heat produced by, you know, like our phones. And anyway, so Somayeh, Noor was talking about disposable culture, right? So you know, like whatever's been like or if we waste something and we throw it away, but as saying was,
and there's no place like, away, it's still on the planet,
there's no place. So like as the saying goes के जो है कहते हैं, waste is only wasted if you know waste it. Waste is only waste if you waste it. So and your expertise is of course, you know, whatever other like somebody else's waste is, to upcycle it and to reuse it.
Oh, for us
and
trash
to
is
make
treasure.
new things. So please do talk
we
about
what
RLCC has been doing, and what you've been doing, and how you train your artisans. Like, I mean, you guys are making a huge impact by training, you know, the ladies around Shah Faisal Colony as well, which we think that like wouldn't know so much about you know, recycling or reusing and everything, but they do know a lot more, like thanks to RLCC than other people. So please but like do tell us about what you upcycle, how you upcycle, and any other projects that you've been working on.
Okay, great. So RLCC, which is Raana Liaquat Craftsmen's Colony, I'm just going to give you a bit of a background. It was founded by Begum Rana Liaquat Khan in 1949-47 when partition happened, and it's been functioning since. But the livelihood department, which supports home-based artisans, started about 8 to 10 years ago. So, you know, and since they started, it wasn't just कि हमें craft preservation करनी है और हमें embroideries को preserve करना है, वो तो है ही लाजमी, because that's the skill that the women come with. But the one thing that we are really, you know, put a lot of stress on is making them aware of what the environmental problems are connected to production, connected to, you know, fabric or fiber or textile waste. So what we started doing is we started asking for people to donate their waste to us. This includes designers, like Deepak Parwani sends his katran, जो sides में कपड़े जो कटते हैं, जो बच जाता है, वो बोरियों में भर के हमें भेजा जाता है. Koil sends their textile waste to us. There's a few other, you know, smaller darzis that send their waste to us. And then what we do is we make smaller products out of those textile waste material. In addition to fabric, we also have paper. So we have security papers. They send in boris and boris of A4 paper that, you know, फेंक देंगे, क्या करेंगे उसका. So they send it to us. So we make paper mache products out of it. Then there's paper that is used on billboards or posters कि वो जो सही print नहीं हुआ है, or there's a misprint. What are they going to do with that? वो भी रद्दी में बेच के वो पता नहीं कहाँ पहुंचेगा, तो वो भी हमें भेज देते. So we coil the paper, and then we make coasters and trivets. And so all of our products are really home and lifestyle products. And through these products, another big one is newspaper. So Bank Al Habib sends all their newspaper to us. And if anybody has newspaper, please send it to us. So what we do is we get it block printed, and then we make gift bags in various different sizes. So you're not buying a gift bag made of cardboard. You're buying a gift bag made of newspaper, which is upcycled. And then we also did a drive together with Garbage Can for upcycling plastic bags. And so we have a lot of women who do crochet. So we taught them how to kind of, you know, cut the plastic bags into strip and then crochet them into beach bags, which you can reuse. It's waterproof.
Multi-use.
And that plastic bag is not ending up in a landfill somewhere. So through the production of these, you know, products, we've also been spreading awareness to the women कि भाई, you know, you need to understand कि ये सारी चीजें समंदर में जाएंगी, मछली खाएगी, हम मछली को खाएंगे, फिर हम बोलते हैं हमें कैंसर क्यों होता है. This is how you know that you have to speak to them in layman's language. Like, this whole idea, I mean, Noor, the amount of work that you do, or the way that you think, it started from a spark somewhere. We did not, think, the khab mein thodi socha tha ki environmental, something sparked it within us, right? For me personally, I remember watching a documentary when I was doing my undergrad about 10, 15 years ago. A documentary, or it was that time, it was like, oh yeah, documentaries dekhte, so it was like a cool thing. Movies se thoda hatke, let's look at reality, right? I don't watch movies, it's a waste of time. I watch documentaries. So usme, there was a documentary that had come out called Addicted to Plastic. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I highly recommend. It's a very old, and I recommend it because it blew my mind. Like, I did not think, where is this plastic going? Ab usme itna khubsurti se they showed that from the minute you step your foot off your bed, you are using plastic till the time you sleep. Right? And where is all of this ending up? It's ending up in the ocean, with that whole big, situation in the middle of the Pacific Ocean where all this plastic is collected. Now, this is 15, 20 years ago. If you want to come into and the only way that we can actually practice these things in our life is by constantly watching content that is reminding us of the disaster that is created. So I urge all the youth to watch as many documentaries as you can about climate change. Watch content, listen to people, look at talks, go through the figures, look at the statistics. One of the latest, I mean, David Attenborough again blew my mind with this life on the planet, right? A life on the planet. And in that he says that 2080 tak sab khatam ho jayega. Magar he gave such a simple solution, yaar, solar laga lo. दो तीन बहुत simple चीजें हैं, ये कर लें. So this is what we're suggesting, that you have to bring in small changes in your life. It has to start from yourself. पहले आप खुद aware हो जाए कि what is happening to the environment. And after that, a conversation that we were having slightly earlier was that we need to make our house help aware, because they are the ones that are bringing your sabzi and your fruit in plastic bags. Now, our RLCC makes partitioned grocery bags for anybody who's interested to use reusable grocery bags. And that is in my car all the time, but my driver will always come with the plastic bags and, fruit. And every day I'm screaming at him.
Because
that comfort
exactly.
is easy.
Behavior change.
Yeah.
एक और प्रॉब्लम ये है कि भाई ये कराची है, ये जवाब मुझे जो मिलता है, बाजी ये पाकिस्तानी, ये कराची है, बिठाएं उनको और दिखाएं उनको documentary. These documentaries need to be translated into Urdu. We need more content in our language for people to understand.
Acha, isme I wanted to ask you a question, or like two questions, I guess. Ek to, one of the arguments against upcycling, against upcycling items is that it's not as it's usually crude, or like it's cool as arts and crafts and everything, but it's not jaise hota hai na ki fine tune like with fine finishing and everything, ke is tarah ki cheez jo products वगैरह बहुत जबरदस्त जो या mass produce हो या सारी चीजें. For example, you have 300 artisans, but how much do you produce? तो उसमें of course cost वगैरह की बात आती है, but like the argument is कि it's more arts and crafts. एक तो वो वाली चीज कि could you please explain if that's true, or if I'm if those arguments are completely unfounded. और दूसरी ये चीज है कि how can people start upcycling at their homes? So, like right now you're talking about RLCC where you have 300-400 artisans with you. ठीक है, जो पेपर मैशे और ये सारी चीजें कर रहे थे, मगर घर पे जो कहते हैं किस तरह से जो छोटी-छोटी चीजें हैं जो कि वो अपसाइकिल कर सकते हैं, वो कैसे करें? So
देखिए, घर पे अगर आप अपसाइकिल कर रहे हैं, you need to have a bit of a creative inclination or an artistic, passion to do upcycling at home. I don't think it is something that everybody would be everybody's cup of tea, right? But for the ones that are passionate about it, there's Pinterest, there's 5-Minute Craft, there's all of these platforms that will teach you how to make new things out of all your old stuff. Aside from that, people need to start really concentrating on repairing and reusing the things that they have at home instead of throwing it away. And again, like I said, कि हमारी जिंदगी में कुछ होता है जो spark करती है किसी चीज को. So for me, I had the good fortune to work on a project that was in the cotton growing district of Pakistan, which is Sangar is the biggest cotton growing district in Interior Sindh, and Muzaffargarh is second largest. So it was a Save the Children project. It was funded by the IKEA Foundation, and the project was कि आप 10,000 12,000 बच्चों को आप cotton field में से निकाल के school में डालें, because they're picking cotton. तो तब जाके child labor समझ में आए कि भाई what is child labor, right? So once you see these things, the biggest irony that I saw in those fields was all the women and all the children that are picking all this pure cotton जो हम पहनते हैं, or you know, or natural and 100% cotton and this and that. ये जितने लोग वो cotton pick कर रहे हैं वो सारे polyester कपड़े पहने हुए हैं. It's the biggest irony. You know, जो कि उनके बदन body के लिए harmful है, which is harmful for their environment, but because it you know, doesn't need ironing, or it's not going to bleed color or whatever. Same problem we have with plastic, right? We buy plastic because it's more convenient and it's cheaper. So those poor people that are picking all the cotton for us are wearing polyester clothing. So once you see something like this, A, it sparks something within you, and B, you can't unsee it. Okay, when you see a video of a straw stuck up a turtle's nose, you can't unsee that content, right? And that is what we need to keep reminding ourselves. So वहाँ से मेरी journey shopping की तो बिल्कुल ही खत्म हो गई. अब बचपन में हम like fashion designer बनेंगे. I went to India to study fashion design. They gave me one course on sustainability. मेरी बोलती बंद हो गई. Said I don't think the world needs any more fashion designers. You know. So we need to really think about whether, and as Noor has mentioned this before, do we really need to buy what we're buying? Or can we reuse what we have? Can we pair a shalwar from one suit with a kurta from another suit and a dupatta from a third suit and make a new outfit for ourselves, right? What is I mean, and I'm glad now that brands are looking at individuality, or they're looking at, you know, design variations. So then it doesn't matter. Then you don't have to buy a whole suit. Then you can think about, okay, redoing things within your own closet. And borrow, trade. Like I live on hand-me-downs. I live on hand-me-downs.
RLCC runs this program called the White Elephant, I believe. तो उसमें जो है कहते हैं जैसे clothing drive वगैरह भी वो चल रही है, सब कुछ है. तो like what exactly is the concept? Like the clothes that have already been used. Do you think like a lot more people are comfortable? I mean, sure, you're comfortable with hand-me-downs, but do you think others are comfortable with hand-me-downs as well? Like,
listen, I think if you're coming from an impoverished community, specifically right now within COVID, where people cannot afford to buy something new, see, for them it's new. When I get something that is a hand-me-down, I don't look at it as something that has been worn by somebody else. To me, it's new, right? So I don't think that people would feel कि हम second-hand clothing पहन रहे हैं. First of all, we need to start that culture. That whole thrift culture.
That's exactly
needs to
what I was
begin.
saying. If it's not something that people are comfortable with right now, we need to make people comfortable with it.
Yes, and that will only happen when we make them aware.
When we start doing it, yeah, exactly.
So, like, how does your white elephant program work? Like, how does this work? Like, so people give you their clothes, and then what happens?
So people give us everything. People give us not just clothes, they give us cutlery, crockery, frames, CDs, you name it, they give it to a white elephant, which is a good system. It is kind of like a Salvation Army system, right? So you bring it to the NGO, then the NGO kind of separates, okay, ये किसी के जहेज में दे सकते हैं, ये चीज हम 20 रुपए में बेच सकते हैं NGO के लिए डोनेशन लेने के, तो nominal prices pay, we you know, provide these things that are donated to the community. And because you shouldn't give anything for free anyways to anybody, so we charge literally 10 rupees or 20 rupees, but something has to come out of their pocket, right? Now this is Ramzan. Most people are not going to be able to afford clothes, flashy blingy clothes for Eid, and most of us that are coming from privileged backgrounds, I mean, this COVID was a serious eye-opener, because there's 5 cupboards at home that are filled with formal, semi-formal, Western, home, this, that, and literally I was living between 2 shelves of t-shirts and shorts. That was it for 6 months. That was it. So what is this whole shopping thing about anyways, right? If for zindagi karne ke liye kya chahiye? So we end up hoarding a lot. Our culture is such that we have to constantly produce clothes and live up to this social whatever. So we do end up accumulating a lot of this stuff. It is, you know, a request कि आप किसी गरीब को कपड़े दे दे ईद के लिए, 2-4 निकाल दें, RLCC भेज दें, and we चार दुआएं भी मिल जाएंगी आपको, or you know.
So what's interesting is we're stuck between either disposable culture or hoarding and accumulating things. We're stuck between either extreme. या तो बहुत ज़्यादा जमा करके रख लेते हैं, या तो जो कहते हैं फौरन बस जो कहते हैं करके फेंकते हैं. So like we need to, of course, like as you know, like as the saying goes, like you know, like find the middle path somewhere, find a path of moderation. So what is that one thing that you would suggest Somayeh, that people can upcycle at their homes? That one thing जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल होती है और आपको पता है कि जो है कि लोग upcycle कर सकते हैं बड़ी आसानी से.
Chips के packets.
How?
Chips ke packets. Okay, so you can use chips and chocolate packets, and you can use butter paper on top, and you can fuse the packets together with an iron, so that kind of becomes a surface, and you can make bags out of it. You can stick it onto your folder. There's a lot of things you can do with that. Paper. Suggestion is to stop using paper so that we stop cutting trees. तो घर में तो वैसे ही नहीं यूज करना चाहिए. अब ऑफिस यूज इट इज अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. RLCC is paperless in the office. We try to be as much as we can, but yeah, you can recycle paper. You can send all your plastic bags to RLCC. We'll make beach bags out of them, and just try to live a low, you know, zero waste or less waste lifestyle. Stop buying things that you'll need to upcycle.
Towards the end, I'm just gonna, because we have barely about 10-15 minutes left, so I'm just gonna quickly talk about recycling at the end, and then Noor can talk about the eco brick initiative that they've started with Tawfiq Pasha and with KMC, and you know, so Somayeh, you've already talked about the white elephant and like the clothing drive and everything that's going on. And then we can go from there. So जो आप लोगों से जो basically जो चीजें बच जाती हैं, फिर वो हम लोग recycle यानी करते हैं basically, समझे? या जो
upcycle नहीं होती है,
जो कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता जिसका, वो ये नहीं कहते हैं, फिर आप वो कोशिश करते हैं कि आप उसको किसी तरह से recycle कर लें. जो आप लोगों से चीजें यानी एक तो जो आप लोगों के हत्थे नहीं चढ़ती, या जो कहते हैं जो आप लोगों से भी मिस हो जाती हैं, वो फिर हमारे पास आती हैं क्योंकि फाइनली और like that's how it should be basically. But unfortunately in a country like Pakistan that does not know like all of these techniques and everything, well, like internationally as well, like I mean, like I'm not gonna say okay, like the US is very big on you know, reusing or zero waste living or upcycling and everything as well. So that's what, you know, basically should be recycled. और recycling में उसमें of course ये सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं कि जी plastic bottles get recycled, so you know, like, and metal cans get recycled, paper gets recycled and so on. मगर कुछ चीजें हैं जो कि recycle नहीं होती, जैसे कि या recycle overall it's not very green or efficient to recycle them. There are Tetra packs, 4 layers, like I mean, like sure, like the individual layers are recyclable, but like if you peel through the layers, then it becomes a lot more energy intensive and say labor intensive and time intensive, like to recycle it properly. Yeah, वो हो गया कि chips के wrappers. So as Somayeh has mentioned, of course, कि जो कहते हैं आप chips के wrappers को किस तरह से upcycle कर सकते हैं, तो उसमें ये solution है कि चलिए recycle नहीं हो रहा, otherwise landfill के अंदर जाएगा, और फिर landfill से कहीं भी, और यानी पाकिस्तान में तो landfills तो नहीं है, dumps है, तो उसके बाद वो आपके दरिया में जा सकता है, फिर समुद्र में जा सकता है, तो उससे बेहतर है कि आप उसको reuse कर लें. फिर इसी तरह से टेट्रा पैक्स के जो बॉटल्स होती हैं, जो बॉक्सेस होते हैं, तो उससे there's a company like I believe Somayeh mentioned, like based in Lahore, that you know, like makes sheets out of them, जो corrugated roofs वो होती है, metal sheets होती हैं, तो उसके बजाय उसके वो sheets बनाते हैं. Of course you have to wash them and wash them and then compress them. So वो जो आपकी जो layers वाली separate करने वाली चीज है, वो खत्म हो जाती है. Then again, there's a difference between recycling and reusing. Recycling is basically breaking things down and then, you know, building something new, whereas like your upcycling and reusing is just, you know, changing its usage, I guess. So ये सारी चीजें अब जैसे but recycling still is perhaps the most biggest greenwashing propaganda that you could, you know, that you could imagine in the world. Noor, I think you had something to say. उसके बाद I'll
yes, I do. So plastic के अलावा I had a couple of questions with from you. बहुत सारे घर में गत्ते के डब्बे जमा हो जाते हैं, जो मैक्स के डब्बे होते हैं या जो बहुत सारे गत्ते के डब्बे होते हैं. What's the best way them? Should we segregate them, and is there a drop off point that we can drop them, जो साफ गत्ते के डब्बे होते हैं, and are they
send them to
recyclable?
RLCC. Send
Yeah?
them to RLCC.
So segregate करके properly साफ सुथरे, and then you can upcycle them. So that's something that we can at least start doing, कि अगर आप चीजें यूज कर रहे हो, मसाले के डब्बे, सारे डब्बे जो गत्ते के डब्बे जमा हो जाते हैं, एटलीस्ट इनको हम लोग प्रॉपर तरीके से send it to RLCC or send it to you, and
exactly.
that's something that we can take out of the session at least.
So there are many options.
Yeah.
पूछ
Or you were saying something.
आप वो कुछ वो कह रही थी, उसके बाद I'll continue.
Second question ये था मेरा कि the garbage that we, because आपको first hand आप देख रहे होते हो किस तरह हम लोग घर उसमें गार्बेज आ रहा होता है, उसमें से कितना % होता है जो कि ऑर्गेनिक गार्बेज होता है, that can be decomposted, but वो नहीं होता क्योंकि वो सारा प्लास्टिक के साथ मिक्स हुआ होता है, तो वो कितने % होता है approximately?
हाँ, अच्छा, okay, so like I'll answer both questions. So एक तो पहले तो जो cardboard है, like of course like you can send it to organizations like RLCC. Otherwise आप कबाड़ियों को भी दे सकते हैं, जो कि वो आखिर में पहुंचाते हैं. Like about 95% of the recyclable items in Pakistan do get recycled. असल जो इशू आता है वो आपका जो नालों में उसमें जो प्लास्टिक की थैलियां होती हैं, वो इसलिए क्योंकि like they don't get recycled as much because the amount of plastic within it, like जो HDP प्लास्टिक होता है वो इतना ज्यादा नहीं है, या LDP जो प्लास्टिक होता है वो इतना ज्यादा नहीं होता. So, for example, like I was talking to the Pakistan Plastic Manufacturing Association people, and they mentioned that for 1 kilo of plastic bags, you need 1,000 plastic bags. To make 1 kilo of plastic bags, you need 1,000 of those bags. But then, like after last year's ban, the good thing that came out of it was that they changed the micron level to 30 microns. So, जिसमें like 1 kilo of plastic bags means that you have to pick like 166 plastic bags. तो उसमें फिर वो चीज हो जाती है कि जो लेबर आपका जो स्कैवेंजर्स फॉर एग्जांपल जो 1000 दफा झुक रहा है, उसको सिर्फ 166 दफा झुकना होता है. So like it becomes 5 times more efficient to recycle. Should they be doing that? ये नहीं कहते हैं वो, of course should plastic bags should exist or not. उसमें तो और बहुत सारी चीजें, बल्कि मैंने एक आर्टिकल लिखा था तो मुझे मैसेज आ गया था PPM वालों के साथ की तरफ से कि हम आपको सू कर देंगे. तो हमारे जो लॉयर दोस्त हैं वो ये कह रहे थे कि उनसे कहो फौरन सू करें, हम तो इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि कोई सू करे इस बात पे कि प्लास्टिक बैग्स हमें इस्तेमाल करने दें. तो एनीवे, तो इसलिए किस तरह की वो चीजें. और दूसरा आपका एक तो कार्डबोर्ड, अच्छा उसमें भी जो नाम होते हैं, कार्डबोर्ड ऑफ कोर्स गत्ता कहलाता है, जो ये जैसे शान के डब्बे के पैकेट्स हैं या टिश्यू बॉक्स पैकेट्स हैं, वो पैकेट कहलाते हैं या पासपोर्ट कहलाते हैं. Anyway, okay, so there's about 10 minutes left, so I'm just gonna quickly wrap up 5 minutes उसमें, and then we'll move on. तो दूसरा नूर रिमाइंडर ऑर्गेनिक, उसमें देखें, उसमें it depends. Offices से for example around 5 to 10% is organic waste. अब फिर जैसे हम लोग रेस्टोरेंट से करते हैं, like one of the biggest names like in Pakistan, like in Karachi for example, like I'm not gonna name them like as one. तो उनसे like we work with them as well. So उनके पास हमें तकरीबन 20 to 25% जो by weight होता है वो organic waste मिलता है, और उसमें से of course हम लोग वो compost कर लेते हैं. अब वो ये the good thing is that we've started composting now, like at the garbage can materials recovery facility जो RLCC के ही वो जो कहते हैं boundary wall के अंदर है. We're coming up with another one. So you know, like now we're comfortable taking organic materials and anything as well, which we weren't initially. तो उसमें like about 10, like I would say कि 10 to 25% household से जो कहते हैं we don't like accept organic waste right now, but like that's a study that we need to do. ये मुझे पता है कि on average पाकिस्तान में से और कराची में से तकरीबन 0.4 to 0.5 kgs per बंदा जो कहते हैं per day के हिसाब से जो कहते हैं per person आपका waste वो जमा होता है. और ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट जो है गांव में आपको ज्यादा मिलेगा, शहर में कम मिलेगा. शहर में आपको इनऑर्गेनिक ज्यादा मिलेगा क्योंकि गांव में मैकडॉनल्ड्स नहीं होता. फॉर एग्जांपल द सिटी हैज अ मैकडॉनल्ड्स, राइट? तो उसमें जो आपका बर्गर आ जाता है व्हिच इज ऑर्गेनिक ऑफ कोर्स. उसके बाद जो कागज है, फिर आपका जो कहते हैं जो केचप के साशेस हैं, फिर आपके नैपकिन्स हैं, फिर डब्बा है उसका, फिर उसके अलावा एक और कागज वो के बैग के अंदर आता है, फिर वो थैले के अंदर आता है, तो पैकेजिंग वगैरह कुछ में वो आता है। अच्छा, लाइक आवर फैसिलिटी इज कॉल्ड लाइक यहाँ पे जो कबाड़ जो अल्फाज इस्तेमाल लफ्ज जो इस्तेमाल होता है उसका ज्यादा टेक्निकल नाम है मटेरियल्स रिकवरी फैसिलिटी। इट्स कॉल्ड मटेरियल्स रिकवरी बिकॉज यू लाइक जो आपका कचरा आता है उसमें से यू रिकवरिंग मटेरियल दैट यू कैन यूज अगेन, either as raw materials that you recycle or as upcycled items. So हम बहुत सारी चीजें जो हमारे पास, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल किसी ने सिलाई की मशीन भेजी थी, वो हमने आरएलसीसी को दे दी थी, या जो कहते हैं थैलियां जो कहते हैं वो जो आती हैं उसमें जो साफ होती हैं वो हम आरएलसीसी को दे देते हैं, या जो कंपोस्ट हो सकता है वो कंपोस्ट हो जाती हैं। जो प्लास्टिक की बोतल आती है वो लाइक देयर इज अनदर कंपनी कॉल्ड पिनेकल फाइबर, हम लोग उनको देते हैं व्हिच दे मेक टी-शर्ट्स आउट ऑफ, व्हिच इजंट, लेकिन देखें रिसाइकलिंग इजंट एग्जैक्टली द बेस्ट सॉल्यूशन उसमें वो क्योंकि वो टी-शर्ट्स भी में भी जो जैसे लाइक नूर ने इनिशियली मेंशन किया पॉलिएस्टर है जो कि आपके फिर उसके अंदर कचरे के
but it slows it down, at least
it slows it down a little.
Yeah.
अच्छा, उसमें ये है कि there is something called a circular economy that we need to start moving towards a circular economy, जिसमें सुमैया ने भी जो मेंशन किया कि you need to start repairing things yourself and reusing things yourself.
You need to repair the earth.
हाँ, तो circular economy is basically using as little virgin material as possible and using existing materials and recycling and everything. और उसमें एक और concept अभी जो which is picking up like a little bit of traction is rental economy. Okay, instead of purchasing something, you like instead of buying something and keeping it, you rent it, and then once you're like you've used it, you give it back. जैसे अगर फोन आपने जो कहते हैं रेंट किया है, you give it back and then they can make new phones or whatever out of that material and then you get something else in return, इस तरह। तो ये भी interesting वो चीजें हैं। Anyway, so we're left like just very quickly I wanted to go over the recycling industry and everything, which like I hope that I've done, but like people can find a lot more about recycling and everything. हमारे साथ like I'll just quickly tell you guys like about one of the initiatives that I'm doing, and then Somayeh like briefly and like in 2 minutes just mention the clothing drive, and Noor आप जो कहते हैं eco bricks के बारे में बात करेगा। तो हम लोग के साथ अगर आपको recycle करना है, then you can just send us a message on Facebook or or Instagram or through our website.
Come visit us.
And or like visit RLCC and like garbage can materials recovery facility, and we can come and pick up items from your space, and recycle with you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like if you want to recycle with us, just collect your plastic bottles and just let me know. There's a small transportation and service charge, but then of course we'll send a vehicle and we'll pick it up.
Perfect.
And उसमें हम लोग एक और initiative start कर रहे हैं. It's called second hand library. Over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, like or the 4 years that Garbage Can has been operational, a lot of people like while they utilize this service of ours, were giving away books, and instead of recycling those books or sending them away for Raddi, we've been collecting those books, and we have enough now to start a second-hand library. Like if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see like a book drive as well, which is on till Eid. This year, June 1st, inshallah, we'll start a second-hand library. So if you can, donate books to us, that would be great. So my ka bhi jo kehte hain jo clothing drive hai, that's basically following the same concept. Like if you have, it's basically our spring cleaning effort as well. Declutter your home. Give away your like clothes that you're not using anymore. Give away the books that you're not using anymore. Somayeh will utilize it within their White Elephant RLCC program.
Clear the energy in your house.
Exactly. So Noor, very quickly, because we have 3 minutes left.
So I just want to say in the end, yes, eco brick is something that we are doing, but and that's basically आखिरी तरीका कि कुछ भी नहीं करना, अगर घर में चिप्स खा ही रहे हैं और कहीं नहीं कुछ करना है, वो प्लास्टिक सारा बन ही रहा है. So is to make an eco brick. So that's basically shoving all that plastic into a plastic bottle, और उससे फिर eco brick बन जाती है, जिससे हम लोग eventually inshallah bench बनाएंगे, garbage cans बनाएंगे. But I just want to utilize this time in saying कि जितने भी लोग ये देख रहे हैं, honestly, if you just sit and think about this for a minute, with garbage can being there, with RLCC being there, with all this, there is no excuse anymore. So please, let's just sink that in. Let's just think about that for a
We
minute.
won't have a planet. If we don't think about it, we won't have a planet.
There's no planet B.
This is serious.
Just please think about that, you know, and we're so lucky to have all, you know, what you guys are doing. We're so lucky to have you all. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And, you know, अब हमारे पास at least people living in Karachi, अब, you know, उनकी तरफ से उनके लिए एक सवाल होना चाहिए कि आप excuse बताएं कि आपके पास क्या है, not to live a sustainable life. You know, just give us excuse so that people like you can solve that as well. But really, I don't think there's any reason why we're producing waste the way that we are right now. So just please think about this after this session. आप लोग जब बैठेंगे, just think about this and talk about